While working as a pharmacist, Professor Arthur Christopoulos was struck by how inadequate many of the major classes of medicines were for common diseases. He realised many drugs acted on a specific family of proteins he'd previously studied, sparking a deep interest in finding different ways to approach these proteins.
The research that we're doing is being applied to essentially health burdens that currently have unmet therapeutic needs, in particular neuropsychiatric diseases, neurological diseases, diabetes, obesity, heart failure and chronic pain.
Professor Christopoulos is a molecular pharmacologist who focuses on novel avenues for drug discovery using the largest class of proteins encoded by the human genome. His research has contributed to seminal discoveries of drug-binding sites on G-protein-coupled receptors, or GPCRs.
90% of the medicines on the market that act on these types of proteins do so by acting on the on-off switch. They either activate the protein or they block the protein. But what I discovered is that these proteins also possess different spatial regions on them that act like a dimmer switch. So we discovered essentially a whole new class of medicines that we refer to colloquially as dimmer switch medicines.
Professor Christopoulos says he was inspired to study neuropharmacology because of his desire to help people.
There's been essentially no new drug discovery in neuropsychiatric space in at least 50 years. Now, where else would you accept that as the current standard of care?
His research has helped discover new classes of drugs for people with memory impairments and a way to more selectively target the A1 receptor with non-opioid analgesics, which he hopes will lead to new treatments for people with chronic pain.
The nature of the drugs that we discover, how they act in the body, they are very different to your more traditional medicines which either activate or block proteins in the body. These things are much more selective and therefore they have the potential to not only be more effective but to also be safer.
The son of Greek immigrants, Australian-born Professor Christopoulos is the first in his family to finish university. He's also the first family member to feature in a film with Kiwi actor Sam Neal, not for his research, but for his guitar skills. Internationally renowned for his contribution to science, Professor Christopoulos has been elected a Fellow of the Australian Academy of Science.
What's important about getting elected into the Academy of Science is that your peers in all different spheres of science have recognised that you are actually making a difference not only to Australia but to the world. When my mother asked me, "What does this mean?" I said, "It's kind of like the Hall of Fame, Mum, but we're still going."